Hi Leos, welcome to your April 2019 readings. I hope everybody's doing well, has had a fantastic start to the year. I've been MIA, but that's all right. I had to move. That took up like all of January, all my free time there. I work extraordinarily long hours, you guys. So during the work days, I don't have free time to do anything pretty much. Used to take me 4 hours to get back and forth through work or to work. And I work 10 to 14 hours, anywhere in between 10 to 14 hours. So some days I only had 6 hours to sleep, eat, and pack lunch and do my laundry and shower. Very limited on time. So until I found a place, and then I was going back and forth between both places. And then last month I was going to do the readings, and then life happened. The unexpected. Dun, dun, dun. I actually had a root canal done. My face got really swollen. It was quite embarrassing because like my neck was swollen, my face was swollen, and so I couldn't get it done. I do have the time now. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I do have stage fright. I believe I've admitted that before. And because I haven't done these in so long, it kicked up quite a notch. It took me 3 days to get the courage to be like, okay, we're doing this, like. And the funny thing is, it's like nobody's even here when I do them, like, so there's no need for me to have it, but I do. It is weird talking to yourself, like when nobody's around. Anywho, so Leos, my fabulous lines, we're gonna get into it. I pre-pulled the cards because I'm having technology issues. I don't know if Mercury retrograde is the best time to come back, but doing it. So we're doing no show and grow because I like those readings. I feel like they're highly valuable. It's a little more self-focused, which I like, right? Spirituality is about the self. It's not a soap opera, Okay, so the first card you got is I am driven. Second card you got is I am sacred. The next card you got is I am air. The tarot cards you got were the King of Cups, the Ten of Wands, the Chariot, the Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, and the Page of Cups. I'm going to pull at the end a shaman card, so I'll wait till the end to do that. Excuse my hair, you guys. It's doing its own thing, and the more energy I exert, the more crazier my hair gets. So what you need to know is it says I am driven. You have the King of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, well, immediately what I'm getting is you have the Chariot here, which represents a vehicle, okay? You have the Ten of Wands. This isn't even the way I normally read these cards, but I'm just getting something. The I am driven. Like you're there's a sense here, it could just be for one or two people, of you being held back, and how can we say this without being, you're being held back in some sort of sense, but the holding back is not coming from outside sources, it's coming from you. So it's almost like there's excuses being made, but the excuses are not valid. So if you keep running into problems and you're thinking, why isn't this changing? Or it's accountability. So your mind frame has to change. It could be like, okay, there could have been, I've been through this, so like this is experience, not knowledge. Knowledge and wisdom are two separate things, right? Knowledge anybody can learn. Wisdom comes from experience. So there could have been a car accident, okay? This could be you or somebody you know, one or the other, okay? And through this car accident, you're burdened. You have injuries. It happened in the past with the Six of Cups, okay? You have the Page of Cups here and then the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, the difference between these is this is an adult and this is a child, naivety. right? Or being naive. So somebody's acting like a child. So it's like when you get into a car accident, you get injured, right? Some of these injuries are quite severe. Uh, it's unfortunate if that happens. Okay, and I've been in a bad car accident when I was in my early 20s. I'm now 34. So, and it took a lot of work and it was a lot of burdens to get the body back into shape, right, from the car accident because you're in a lot of pain, right? But the thing with that is you can either sit there and dwell in the pain because you're in pain, or you can go to the gym and do something about it. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Is you're going to be in pain when you go and do it. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? Like, it's quite painful when you're rehabilitating yourself, okay? Because you have to fight through the pain, but you're going to be in pain if you sit at home and do nothing. And the thing with injuries is this is the Nine of Pentacles, right? It comes from health. It's a material sense, right? It's the things you can touch, taste, and smell, okay? Uh, the thing is, if you get an injury and this can go for emotions too, right? You got the King of Cups here. If there's an emotional injury and you don't deal with it, right? Like you got to go. It's same thing. We'll use the car accident as the example though. When you have an injured area, okay, like a hip problem. I had a hip problem for mine. I had a few other areas that were injured. The idea is when you're going for rehabilitation is you're going to build the tissue and the muscles around the injured area, not the bone itself, but you want to build up the tissues around it so that it takes the pressure off of the joint. Okay? If you choose to stay at home while you're seizing the injury is going to be just as painful. Okay, with rehabilitation and fighting through the pain and working out to build that tissue and muscle up around it, you are in pain, but that pain will de-escalate. Okay, if you sit at home and you just, with the Six of Cups, this is like nostalgia, thinking about, oh, what it's doing to you, how things used to be. Dwelling on it does nothing. It's childish behavior. Okay, taking action and doing something to make yourself better will be proactive. Oh man, that's harsh, right? Like I don't want to be harsh, but like this is I'm all about the truth, right? So like for your benefit. My hair is all crazy, you guys. You're too much up in the mind. It's like too much work. Okay, with the Chariot, that is a vehicle. Okay, but the Chariot is also emotions too. And if you can see, he or she doesn't have their face towards the moon. They're avoiding it. So like you're avoiding, there's childish behavior, avoidance of what needs to happen here. That's for somebody. That's not for everybody. Okay? With the I am driven part, the King of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. This is talking about being emotionally available. This is like I love yous, I miss yous. If this is a person in your life, they're very emotional, which means they're sensitive. They get hurt. Okay, you have the Ten of Wands here. They get hurt very easily. All right, and they dwell on the past. They do, but they reevaluate it. Okay. You have the Nine of Pentacles here, which is this water sign could be quite well off to do. But what I'm getting this as is if you're married or in a couple, okay, or romantically involved, uh, this can apply to work too, but in a different manner. But say if you're married or involved, this is talking about with I am driven that there needs to be more romance, but practical romance. Okay, like it's the Nine of Pentacles. Everybody, it's like the Queen of Pentacles. Everybody thinks, oh, it's big money. You know what I mean? That's what makes you valuable. No, that's not. That's not true value in life, right? The Pentacles cards are quite often about the things that money can't buy and that you have, all right? So you have somebody that's emotionally supportive to you, that gives you the ability to go out and be Miss Independent, right? He's not blocking you from any of it. He gives you the ability to be Mr. or Mrs. Independent, so it would be she, if you're reversing it. But I feel like what it's talking about, this is like outdoors, right? Earth. So it's more about date nights. Uh Because what I kind of feel like it's like it's hard to put into words. It's like you got a good relationship, but there's a lot of things that you guys do separately. Um, like you allow each other to both do your own separate things, but there has to be a middle ground where you guys do come together and do things. And like so, date night, it's like instead of picking something that he wants to do or you want to do, try something new. Middle ground. You know what I mean? It's something new. Okay, so this could even be like going for hikes, walking together after dinner. Um, I feel like it's togetherness though. It's like she almost like because I'm getting this justice feeling from her, like with her robe. I don't know. So it's like to even the scales out, right? Like it's doing like making nice dinners for your partner, the things that he enjoys. Okay, equally balancing that out, not always doing what one person enjoys, but or the other. You know, sometimes you need the middle ground. But it is date nights, so it could be like um, that you have the nostalgia card here. So it could be like things you used to do that, 10 years ago that you're not doing anymore. Like you used to take the time to go out and watch a movie. So you guys go out and do that. Or it's like, or the drive-in theater, if they still have that around. There is one where I live, one, only one. But, even in the summertime, they have it when you can go downtown and they play movies outside because I don't know where you live and you might have this available in your country or wherever you live. Um, and they play these free movies outside for everybody to watch. They just bring a blanket and they watch the movie. So you can plan a picnic. You know what I mean? Go on a hike, have a picnic. Uh, but there has to be some sort of coming together. I feel like your partner really supports you. For some of you, you're driven by your emotional needs and your material needs. Again, if it doesn't apply for you, don't take it on, right? Everybody's in a different phase, right? Like last month I came across a lot of Aries, which was odd. Every woman that was coming into my life was an Aries. It was weird. And I noticed a pattern between them. There was more than 10 of them, and a couple of them were like in a really bad place in their life, and then a couple of other of them were in a really good place in their life, and then a couple of them were like middle ground, toss and turn, like up and down, right? Where but a couple of them were all going through the same thing. They were like all in the same energies, which was weird. Like this is the best way I can explain it. Where so you're all going to be at different phases because some of you guys, I feel like if you have a business idea, okay, then go ahead with it. You have this King of Cups that can emotionally support you somehow, and he's going to help you your independence. Like, uh, I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to help you. Like, create, and they're quite creative Cups characters. Okay, so what you need to know is that you are driven. You have everything that you need. You have emotional support behind you somehow. Some of you have a really good relationship and you have emotional support. He's allowed you to be independent. Okay, but balance the scales out. Do the same for him as he's doing for you. Okay, if he's supported you financially, you might have to support him financially sometimes. If he's allowed you to go out and create your dreams and go after what you want, well, then you have to allow him to do the same. Okay? He's also a great father. You got 3 kids here in the Cups card. He's very emotionally attached to these kids. One of them could be driving him crazy, though. Like, because you got one kid that is like, I don't want to say a genius, okay? You very well could be a genius, but it's almost like he knows or she knows how to work him. So if you're married and you constantly get into arguments with your husband about this one child because he's always saying yes when you're saying no, this one kid is really smart and knows how to work him, right? And he's got a soft spot. This kid knows how to get to that soft spot, all right? It's driving you up the wall, though, right? Where I think he knows it too, where he's not saying it though. Um, what you need to show is I am sacred. You have the Ten of Wands and the Six of Cups. Okay? So your happiness is being blocked because you're looking at things in the past, all right? You're looking at the negatives, at the blockages, okay? You're not seeing with I am sacred, that's a level of respect. Okay? So you got to respect yourself and you got to respect others because respect's not just given, it's earned, correct? So if somebody wants respect, they have to earn it from you. Okay? If you want respect, you have to earn it from them. All right? If you're dwelling on the past or always bringing up the past, well, then things aren't going to improve. You're blocking the future. All right? If you're concerned that things are going to be like the past, then you may very well create that because your thoughts create your reality, right? With I am sacred and you're burdened by something to do with the past. You know, for some of you, this is like your kids are older. You could have a grandchild now. It's just making you nostalgic. Okay, we are in Mercury retrograde. But there's a level with I am sacred, the Ten of Wands, and the Six of Cups. It's like a level of respect. And this is self-focused. So it's you. You need to respect yourself, your feelings. If you're having a feeling, you need to respect that. Don't block that out. Respect it. Okay? If you have a need, you need to respect that. Okay? If you have a desire, you got to respect that. You know, like, you also have to respect other people, though, too, right? You guys got a hard one here. I feel like the blockage, I am sacred, and the blockage is like, wands, it's action oriented. It's definitely action oriented. So like whatever it is that you're stuck on, it has to do with actions. And it could be past actions. So this would be like if you've gained weight. All right. Well, that would have to do with past actions, right? Like you got a little buck wild with what you ate, you know, like you didn't respect the body. Okay, like if your body's in pain, again, going back to this pain, you have to fight through it. Yes, is it a burden? Definitely, but it's a wands card, so there's actions that need to be taken. The action of the past cannot be the action of the future. If you want to get better, you got to do better. All right, like working through an injury is again extraordinarily painful. Okay, like rehabilitation is not an easy process, mentally or physically. Okay, it's got to come from the self, though. It's action oriented. The Six of Cups is nostalgia. It's reflecting on the past, and that's fine. You want to look at the past, that's fine. You're not looking at it for what happened. You're looking at it to find the mistakes and the solutions. That's it. You're reevaluating it. Okay, you don't want to relive it. But in order to get your happiness, there has to be this push to do what it is that you don't want to do somehow. It's like if you have a business or you make things or something and you want to get it out there in the public, well, you got to do it. You got to go knock on doors, you know, like you got to fill out the paperwork. You got to come up with a business plan. You want to go back to school. Well, you actually have to go back to school, right? Like you have to respect that that's your wish and then take the action on it. You have the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. So some of you guys, the Knight of Cups is a really good friend, an excellent listener. Okay, this is a person who feels what you're feeling. Okay, and they're making you an offer in some sense, materialistic though. So it'd be an offer to go out and do something, and then you're like saying no. And then with the Chariot, you're unhappy. But you had the offer and you were like, oh, I don't feel like it, right? But then you regret it afterwards. And this person is quite compassionate, so they'll keep coming back, and they're understanding. They'll keep coming back and offering and offering. Like, it's a good person, all right? They're patient. Some of you might have a child. He may need a tutor, or she may need a tutor, right? Because if they're burdened, they need a tutor, I think. Some of you have been damaged by love. And it's saying to be open-minded. The past isn't going to repeat itself unless you haven't learned the lessons that came along with it, right? To respect yourself. You are sacred. So it's like if somebody cheated on you and they want you back, well, let's respect yourself. You have to really reevaluate that, okay? So that would mean, what do you know from that scenario? You know that you're worth more than that, right? It's not saying that, I don't want to say that people can't change, because I believe in change, right? But it is saying, what do you know about that situation? You know that you're not going to trust the person, right? So why are you going to be with somebody that you can't trust? Because it's just going to cause more problems, right? You're going to be burdened by it, right? You're going to be scared that the past is going to repeat itself, okay? Some of you are creating these own thoughts in your head that somebody's cheating and they're not cheating, all right? So if somebody's telling you they're cheating, they don't know ish, all right? Unless they have the facts and the figures, they've seen it with their own two eyes, they don't know, right? Your fears are heard and your prayers are heard. Ensure that you're listening closely and carefully, all right? People will prey on your vulnerabilities, all right? Because they're opportunists, all right? And they could be damaged individuals from their past, right? And they haven't done the healing work, all right? It's like if you're getting relationship advice, you want relationship advice from a person who's in a happy relationship. You know what I mean? You don't want it from a person who's been cheated on, backstabbed, and is bitter about life, right? They got blockages and burdens, okay? You definitely don't want it from a person who continuously goes back to somebody and cheats, you know? Like, if you have a partner, he's very loving and nurturing. He may be burdened by his past and a child, all right? So it's like, I actually knew a friend who went through this. Her boyfriend had a child and was divorced, and his ex would constantly call and text her or message her, right? And fill her head with all sorts of things. But it's like the guy has a child with her, and he kind of has to tolerate all of her ridiculousness, all right, in order to see his child. Okay, it doesn't mean that he's cheating, all right? Like, obviously, if he's not with that person and that person's still in love with them, they're going to create chaos in your life. They're going to create burdens, and they're going to enjoy doing it. Because if they can't have the person, they're going to make sure that nobody else can have them, all right? Doesn't mean that the person's doing anything wrong. Okay, it just means that this person that they were involved with was a complete psychopath. Okay, he clicked in and he left her, but he has a child with her, so he has to deal with her still. Okay, some of you could have a situation like that. So she's like, somebody's putting stuff into your ear that's not true. All right. If you want to know how a person feels, you have to have that uncomfortable conversation of actually asking them, right? Because if you're watching tarot videos to try to find out, well, I'm going to tell you right now, okay, this tarot is about spirituality. It's about the self. It's not about spying on people, okay? And because the demons prey on that stuff, they're going to put all your fears are going to come to reality, All right. They'll find somebody who can be the messenger for that. All right. Your fears are heard and your prayers are heard. Focus on the positive, not the negative, until you see it with your own two eyes. All right. Actions speak louder than words. Some of you have a great business idea. You're creative. You need to push forward in it. You need to. I don't want to say be foolish, but you need to be optimistic, and you need to be like a child, as in try again. Okay, you're learning to ride the bike. You fall on the bike, you get back up. Okay, and you keep trying, and then eventually you get. You don't have to have the elbow pads and the knee pads. You don't need that. The what do they call those? Training wheels on anymore, right? You get them taken off, and you're on two wheels, and before you know it, you're going. I don't know if this reading is making sense. What you need to grow is I am air, the Chariot, and the Page of Cups. I am air is talking about your thoughts. Okay, so you need to grow your thoughts, positive thoughts. All right. Air is communication too, so it's words. So you need to watch the words that you say because they have a great impact, especially if your partner is a King of Cups. Like they're very sensitive, and they might not say things; they hold it in. They're not fire; they hold it in. They can be passive aggressive. All right, but you want to show more love uh, and actions. It's not about what people say; it's what they do. Okay, because some people aren't verbally expressive. All right. My boyfriend's not the most verbally expressive, but what he does is different. The Chariot is about a vehicle, could be about a trip, but it's talking about victory. Because if you back in the day I was going to say mythology, but in the Roman days, the Chariot was taken back to the kingdom, in the Roman empires or whatever empire they ruled. They rode in back from their battles on a chariot to show their community their victory, right? And usually they would have all their winnings on the back of it. So it is talking about victory. And in order to have this victory, there needs to be some changes and some burdens dropped. And it is stemming from the mindset, communication. So, it's kind of talking about be very careful what you think, because what you think you're going to become. Okay. And don't let people tell you who you are. You know who you are, right? So, the Page of Cups is talking about innocence. For some of you, this is your child. Okay. If you do have a child that's like could say water sign, but this child could be a fire sign or an earth sign. Okay, could be air, because you have the I am air above it. They need to. I'm feeling like swimming or hiking. They need to be challenged a little bit. But something to do. They need more movement somehow. You can go karting with them, like fun experience with them. But what I'm getting with your child is, it could be the father or the mother, somebody is saying, like, you could be telling them that they need to get over a fear or they need to do this or need to do that, but what they need is for you to show them. So it's like they need you to take the action with them. Like a bird's not going to just jump out of the nest and fly unless they see the mother go out and fly, right? So it's like, does that make sense? It's like a practice what you preach, but your victory is going to come to you guys when you take the chance. Okay, when you respect yourself, and when you pick a direction and go for it. Okay, it's almost like You got a plan A, B, C, D, E, F. All right. Plan A, focus on it. You don't need a plan B or C until plan A falls through. All right. And if you think it's going to fall through, then it's probably going to fall through. But if you focus on plan A and you just strive in the direction of plan A and push, then it's going to happen. Okay. Anything worthwhile is not going to happen easy. Always going to be problems. Even in good relationships, there's ups and downs. But for you guys, you do have somebody who allows you to be yourself and is admires you for your independence. You know, I'm not going to take that away from you. If it's business wise, you have somebody that can help you out. It is showing that. But your Nine of Cups is going to come when you take the blockages away. So it's like, you know, if you say you have if you think you're in a bad relationship, well, then counseling, all right? There's no talking about, oh, my relationship's so awful, or I can't get out of it. When there's a will, there's a way. There's no excuses for anything in life, okay? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you have to take the actions to make it better. It's not just going to get better on its own. Your health isn't just going to get better on its own. Your relationship with your children just doesn't get better on its own. Your relationship with your parents doesn't just get better on its own. Your ideas don't just naturally manifest on its own. You got to take the action to do it. You have a lot of orange here, which is drive and action, right? It's not about talk. It's about actions. You want it? What are you going to do to get it? All right? Like, be careful with your car, though. If you're going on a trip, get the car checked out. I mean, your reading is positive. The only thing is you can't dwell or make excuses for things. You have to take actions for it. Okay? I think some of you are you're going to have some really good times with your children or old friends. There's just this obstacle that you got to get rid of, and it's the self. It's like when you don't feel like going out, you need to force yourself to go out, right? You need to get out of your mind. Because your happiness is on the line. And Leos have been going through a lot, right? Like, and you have this protection here because you got an owl in the card. Okay? And owls can see all. They're known to be prophets or to be attached with prophets. So you have protection. You got Spirit of Destruction. Sag has got this too. All right. Let's get into it. I'm going to read it from the book. Okay. It says, I am the spirit of destruction. My aspect may be fearsome, but my powers, although not always welcome, are a force for good. I have the capacity to annihilate any negative emotions that may weigh down upon you. If any emotional obstacles block your path through life, I can destroy them. To invoke my strength is to test your own, as I will force you to confront the darkest recesses of your mind. If your heart is true, I can be a powerful guide. And you guys always hear me say that. Leos are King Arthur. They got the pure heart. It says the spirit of destruction. When negative emotions plague us, they can ruin our contentment, damage our relationships, and undermine our sense of true self. Fear, guilt, resentment, anger, jealousy, all these can eat away at us spiritually, cording our positive energy and locking us into negative patterns of thought. The spirit of destruction has the power to annihilate such negativity. It forces us to address disturbing truths about ourselves and acknowledge that no emotion can operate without our consent. And this is interesting because I touch, like, I got up. The blockage was the self, right? I got a Leo moon, so I'm in this with you guys. And you have I am air here. So the consent that you're giving is the thoughts and the mindset, all right? Okay, it forces us to address disturbing truths about ourselves and acknowledge that no emotion can operate without our consent. Such healing violence brings an end to inner damage and the soothing sense of calm after a tribal storm. Okay, and the interpretations of this card is destruction of damaging emotions, freedom leading to calm, anger, frustration, power lost and power regained, annihilation of spirit blockages, and letting go. Okay. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Um, I wish you all the best. I do have a few. I'm not sure if I'm going to do them. I get a lot of kids, mainly in Leo's reading. I don't know why. But if I do it for one, I got to do it for all. I do have these other readings that I would like to do, keep them short and brief for people with kids. So I can't come at it from a parent's aspect because I'm not a parent, but I can come at it from a aspect of being a child, right? And I like to think I have a pretty good relationship with my parents. Um, so, hopefully those readings will be helpful. I'm going to see if I can try to get them done. Maybe mid-April, a little fun surprise. Not a surprise for you guys though, because you know about it. All right, you guys. Hopefully this helped you out. Namaste and ciao for now.